Coming up on The Reveal. Kids with nowhere to go.
They are living in hotels, and it's because no one can serve them, but we don't have the resources.
Why families struggling with care may require giving up custody. Then, a deal with the DA?
You just do what you gotta do. He said, we appreciate it, you'll be taken care of.
Inside the investigation into a local district attorney now facing charges for questionable conduct. Plus, going for a trip.
How long have you waited for a ride?
I mean, there are times when I've just not gotten a ride share and had to walk because nothing was available.
While you wait longer and pay more to get a lift.
Welcome to The Reveal. I'm Rebecca Lindstrom. You don't have to dig deep to discover there aren't a lot of resources to help families struggling with an aggressive child that has severe mental health problems. Too often, access to what that child needs requires the parents to give up custody to get it. But there is one program child welfare advocates say could help change that. Football. The rush of the run.
I like football.
The roar of the crowd when a touchdown is made. While we all celebrate the one holding the ball, it takes a team to walk away with the win. So it is in the game of life. Trey says with this team, he's ready. Do you think that these things would have happened had it not been for this type of program?
Probably no.
That's Trey with his foster mom, Anne-Marie Small. The program we're talking about is Therapeutic Foster Care, or TFC.
It was a whole total different ball game.
Trey came into DFCS custody when he was 5.
My teacher called DFCS and told her that my arm was burnt.
Since then, he has lived with relatives, a foster family, and in a group home. But between the abuse, bouncing around, and a mild intellectual disability, Trey didn't just need housing and love, he needed behavioral therapy.
So today we're going to talk about our anger warning signs.
Here, he gets both and more, because TFC, when done right, starts with a pretty basic question that doesn't seem to get asked often in our healthcare system. What does this child need? Everyone's together.
Everyone's coming to the home. At least 4 or 5 workers come in. We sit around the table.
And that's my dad that passed away.
Those in therapeutic foster care are generally teenagers with complicated diagnoses.
They may have autism and behavior issues, and also have mental health issues.
Sally Buchanan, the founder of Creative Community Services, says training is given to both the foster and biological parents if the plan is for the child to go back home.
You can't just say, here's your kiddo back. Now you should be able to take care of this child. That's not going to happen.
You've given them no new tools.
No new tools.
So you're just going to repeat the cycle. In the past 5 years, half of the children abandoned to the state's child welfare system were placed more than once. An abandoned 10-year-old diagnosed bipolar moved around 3 more times because either the caregiver couldn't cope or her behaviors were too much to manage. How important is that support team?
I don't think this program could succeed without them.
But the program is limited. Creative Community Services can only handle about 77 teenagers in state custody each year.
We probably get 4 referrals a week of kids that they are living in hotels, and it's because no one can serve them, but we don't have the resources to serve them.
You heard right, hotels with 24/7 staff supervision. In 2019, DFCS paid to hotel more than 600 children. The cost? Roughly $1,400 a day. That is nearly 4 times as expensive as a residential treatment facility and 5 times more expensive than TFC.
Money does not solve things. What solves things is the right amount of money plus the right service at the right time.
Georgia isn't alone. According to a national study, 2/3 of states have written a law or regulation to prohibit children from being abandoned for medical care. That's why Colorado is taking a different approach.
So my name is Stacy Davis, and I'm the program manager for the Children and Youth Mental Health Treatment Act.
Colorado lawmakers created a fund to help under and uninsured children access mental health services.
Families lacked the ability to pay out of pocket for these needed services, and the result was they were turning to child welfare.
In 2020, the program's annual report says caseworkers helped 185 children find and pay for mental health services. Of those discharged, 60% were no longer at imminent risk of being abandoned.
The number is small, but the impact, I hope, is huge.
Other states are using voluntary placements, basically access to intensive behavioral and mental health services without requiring a parent to give up custody.
This one was...
TFC is one example. This year, Georgia lawmakers did approve funding to expand TFC for children in state custody. But the former director of DFCS hopes they'll also use it to help children at risk of being abandoned.
If you have a cut, you may go to the urgent care, or you may just need a Band-Aid. We have been working to build, and still have a lot of work to do, to build a mental health system that has that range of options the way we do for physical health.
What's one thing for you?
While expansion of the program is a positive step, it is still an extreme option and raises the question, why? Why does a child have to leave their home to get good case management and care, to get that team?
Probably.
Trey will never go back to live with his mom, but he is learning how to live independently. He has a job at McDonald's.
Clean the lobby and take out trash.
It's a $25.
He is learning how to manage money and his anger. What do you think is the difference?
I get more help that I needed.
His team has taught him how to catch the ball. Now he is ready for his touchdown. Medicaid does cover TFC, so if our program is approved, the state would only have to foot about a third of the cost. Right now, there is funding to help about 500 children, and DFCS says it hopes to expand that to 1,000 kids if it can find enough foster parents and therapy providers.
Investigating the district attorney.
I mean, I was upset. You know, I just don't feel like justice was served.
What court records now reveal about a man previously trusted with enforcing the law, who's now accused of breaking it.
A Georgia district attorney could face prison time after a grand jury indicted him earlier this year for allegedly bribing a prosecutor. A Reveal investigation has uncovered this isn't the first time the DA has been investigated for public corruption. According to court records, a former attorney general and a judge requested an investigation into the DA in the past.
I'm Barry Lethpool Jr. I worked at Hardywood dealerships from October of 2000.
A former car dealership employee described seeing Paulding County District Attorney Dick Donovan purchasing a vehicle in 2012.
Actually, I was a salesperson.
The video, nearly 10 years old, is evidence released this past April, recently discovered by the Reveal in a now closed criminal case file obtained through a public records request. In it, salesman Barry Poole alleges witnessing his boss, president of Hardy Automotive Johnny Hardy, asking the DA to reduce pending charges against two family members arrested for a shooting.
He turned around, looked at him, put his hands on his shoulders actually. He said, Dick, are you going to be able to help us out?
Are you going to be able to help us out, the dealership president asked?
I heard Mr. Donovan tell Johnny, he said, Johnny, don't worry about it. I'm doing all I can do.
This is how Mr. Hardy responded.
You just do what you got to do. He said, you know, we appreciate it. You know, you'll be taken care of.
You'll be taken care of, the car salesman heard him say to the DA. But why?
All I know is I pulled up.
This dash camera video shows a deputy responding to a shooting.
He's the one that shot the tire out.
And taking the dealership president's sister, Brenda Hillhouse, into custody. Her son-in-law, Mark Campbell, was handcuffed too.
No, he ain't gonna win, Brenda. If it takes every dime we've got.
The last time I was in this neighborhood was in 2012, not too long after the shooting.
Jason Benson shows us where it happened in Hiram, Georgia. He was one of 4 people inside the truck the night of the shooting.
We started backing out into the driveway, and as we was coming across the driveway to jump this curb here, Brenda starts hollering, "Shoot 'em, shoot 'em, shoot 'em," and Mark starts shooting at the vehicle.
At least one bullet struck a back tire. According to the incident report, Brenda and Mark were there to catch Jason having an affair.
I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, I didn't know if they were going to shoot us, if they were just trying to scare us.
The evening of the arrest, Jason says he got 2 phone calls from the sheriff's department asking him to reconsider filing charges.
I told him no, that I would not do that. I said, the only reason I'm getting a call is because who it is.
To Jason, who they are was relevant. Paulding County has purchased more than $10 million in vehicles and parts from Hardy family dealerships since 2012. That includes vehicles purchased for the DA's office.
I said, if it was us or anyone else shooting at the Hardy family, no one would be getting a call.
According to court documents obtained by the Reveal, Paulding County District Attorney Dick Donovan personally met with Brenda and Mark about a week after the shooting. A short time later, one of Donovan's investigators made a surprise visit to Benson's work, asking him to sign a document declining prosecution.
I asked him what this was. I said, I've never heard of this. I said, why would no one call me and tell me what's going on?
In April 2012, a grand jury indicted Brenda and Mark on 11 felonies, including assault with a deadly weapon, theft, and criminal trespass. But instead of taking them to trial, District Attorney Dick Donovan ignored the grand jury's recommendations. The final outcome? Felonies reduced to misdemeanors, 12 months of probation, and a $1,000 fine each.
So what was your reaction to that?
I mean, I was upset. You know, I just don't feel like justice was served. They were doing everything that they could to sweep those charges under the rug without having to go to court.
Benson called for an outside investigation, alleging the Hardy family bribed Donovan to reduce the charges. According to court records, in 2014, Georgia's Attorney General, a Coweta County DA, and a judge all asked the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to look into Benson's claims. Part of the evidence submitted to GBI.
2012, District Attorney Dick Donovan purchased a vehicle from Hardy dealerships.
That former car salesman who claims he saw the dealership's president asked the DA about the shooting.
When I heard that, I knew they were talking about the whole thing with Mark and Brenda.
Brenda, Mark, and the DA all declined to be interviewed. But Benson did confront Donovan about his concerns in a secret audio recording obtained from the closed case file.
Why would we go through the process of going through a grand jury, presenting all the charges that you did, and then even after you have an admission from Brenda and admission from Mark, why would you choose not to prosecute on the grand jury indictment?
I don't really know that I can answer that or should answer that.
Benson pressed the DA again.
I don't want to see any strings pulled. I don't want to see anything done because of who they are. But it has happened in this case.
Well, it ain't going to happen in this case, I guarantee you. And I've already told you that, and I'll tell you again. It has nothing to do with who they are.
An attorney representing the DA emailed the Reveal, writing, Donovan absolutely denies any wrongdoing whatsoever, adding allegations of Mr. Donovan receiving a bribe from anyone at all is spurious. This past April, 8 years after the GBI was asked to investigate, the agency closed the case. No charges filed against Donovan or anyone involving the Hardy family. While the DA won't face charges in this case, this past February, a grand jury did indict him on multiple felonies involving an unrelated case. One of the charges, bribery, for attempting to coerce a municipal prosecutor to drop shoplifting charges for a woman he was later accused of sexually harassing at work.
I feel like that's right up his alley. You know, he feels like he's above the law.
Donovan's attorney provided us with a polygraph test the DA participated in. When the DA was asked whether he accepted any bribe from the Hardy family, his answer was no. The results claim he wasn't lying. There is no court date for Donovan's trial.
Getting a ride is getting uber expensive.
47 bucks. New fare just went up to $55 while we were speaking.
Why you're now paying more for a Lyft.
Welcome back. Getting a ride with Uber or Lyft today is different than it was pre-pandemic. You're likely paying more and waiting longer as a customer. And rideshare drivers are facing their own issues. We took a closer look at the struggles both sides face. This may sound familiar.
It went up $20 from the moment we, left security here to the entrance over here.
The rates has really increased drastically, I believe.
If you're using rideshare in 2021, you may experience this.
47 bucks. New fare just went up to $55 while we were speaking.
How much is your Lyft charging you?
$135.
Or this.
Like a year ago, would that have been the same amount of money you would have paid?
Definitely no. It's probably would have been maybe like 60 bucks or less.
Or even this.
How long have you waited for a ride?
There are times when I've just not gotten a ride share and had to walk because nothing was available.
We've been waiting for like 15 minutes now? It was never like that before the pandemic.
Basically, higher rates and longer waits. So what's the deal? It's pretty simple, actually. A driver shortage. Lyft tells us as COVID-19 vaccines rolled out, we began to see the demand for rides outpace the number of available drivers. We've added thousands of drivers in the past few weeks, and it's already leading to a better rider experience, with wait times down more than 15% nationwide. But are things really improving?
You get more customers now because, as I said, not many drivers on the road.
This is Hakan Sinkal.
It is in demand right now.
He drives for both Lyft and Uber and says he's been 40 minutes away from a customer and is still the closest rideshare driver to them.
They didn't mind waiting.
They didn't mind waiting?
They didn't.
Why do you think that is?
Because there's no car. Otherwise, they will end up waiting for an hour, 2 hours.
Not only are people willing to wait, Hakan says they're willing to pay. But higher rates aren't necessarily translating to higher pay for drivers.
It is just putting a finger of honey in the mouth of a driver.
Hakan told us of a recent ride.
Along the way, I talked to him. And I said, do you mind me asking how much you're going to pay for this ride? He said $174. And he said, I don't care because my company pays.
And how much of that were you getting?
And including the search, I get $67.70.
So he paid $174.
Exactly.
And you got less than 70 bucks out of that.
Exactly.
We decided to see for ourselves how much rideshare drivers are compensated. We booked a ride with Hakan from our 11 Alive parking lot to an apartment complex a quarter mile away. Uber charged us almost $17.
But you're not going to know how much you get from this ride?
Until I drop you off. Yes, that's correct.
Hakan's cut, $9.05, about 53%. We took the same ride, this time with Lyft. It charged us $9.93 for that quarter mile ride. Hakan's cut this time?
$3.90 I get.
Out of $10 for my
Out of $10, yes.
39%.
$4. And they're making more money than the driver. Can you believe that?
That doesn't sit well with some customers.
I think that it's okay if I can't find a ride if they're not paying their employees enough money.
It is either take it or leave it.
It doesn't sit well with Hakan either. And he says until the pay for drivers improves, even though you're paying more, the driver shortage may continue, and those long waits may drag on. Uber did not return our emails for comment about driver pay or the increase in prices and wait times. Lyft says drivers are paid based on a base rate as well as time and distance, not what a rider pays.
For more on these investigations or to submit a tip to the Reveal team, text REVEAL to 404-873-9114 or email us at thereveal@11alive.com.
Thank you for watching The Reveal. You can stream all of our shows on our 11 Alive YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time on The Reveal.